You know, it's fun to sit around and plan a vacation, and it's even more fun to plan a fishing vacation. So as we begin to narrow down our talks and where to go, Sturgeon Bay kept popping up time and time again. That's where we wanted to go. That's where we wanted to be. That was the destination of choice. And the people I was getting my intel from were some of the best in the business that knew that's where I needed to be planning my trip.
Sturgeon Bay, Door County, nestled between the waters of Green Bay and Lake Michigan, and proud of its vital maritime heritage. The history of Sturgeon Bay's waterfront and its boats, from dugout canoes to schooners to wartime vessels and giant commercial carriers, are all on display in the fine city of Sturgeon Bay.
Planning a vacation of any sorts is awesome. Planning a fishing vacation, that's something that you're going to lose sleep about because you can't wait to get there. And that's what was going on in my mind when we were planning our smallmouth adventure. I started calling my buddies, getting ideas of where to go, when to go, things that I should expect, and really got some good advice. And even got some roll of the eyes from a few of my friends, knowing that I was planning on going that far away to go fishing.
Sturgeon Bay in Door County is very unique from the standpoint that in a day you can catch brown trout, lake trout, king salmon, world-class steelhead, 5, 6, 7 pound smallmouth bass. It's a world-class walleye fishery, perch fishery, tremendously large northerns and muskies. So you've got this huge diversification of species of fish. This is a place you can come, go fishing and have a good time.
One of the first things that I wanted to do and begin to talk about was I wanted to catch some big smallmouth. You know, I've obviously been blessed living in South Texas to fish for some giant bass, giant largemouth at all times. But the smallmouth is a fish that I've got experience with, but not great experience. So I really wanted to go north and experience true giant smallmouth fishing.
We are chasing probably one of the most fun fish, mean fish, ornery, tear your equipment up, have fun, and the smallmouth bass. I truly believe that I don't know if there is a better fishery in the country. You know, I mean, we've got a lot of great fisheries, and if you look at some of the premier smallmouth fisheries, for example, you know, Lake Sinclair, Lake Erie, you know, those are two that come to mind real quick. Yeah, those are great fisheries, but the numbers and the size here is just absolutely incredible. You know, whether you want to go north, south, east, west, it all has great smallmouth.
That's kind of what the initial thoughts were behind going to the Great Lakes and go smallmouth fishing. So I started calling some of my buddies and trying to get insight from them, where to go, when to go, and some of the best things that I should be thinking about. It's all brand new territory for me, new country, every bit of it, every turn in the road, every new cove, every new pocket or places that I had never been. And the scenery was fantastic. You know, we got up to Sturgeon Bay, started doing some research on exactly what boat ramps based on the conditions, and started doing a little scouting. And it became pretty apparent from the moment we put our boat in the water, we'd found something pretty special.
The Fisherman's Handbook is brought to you in part by Cabela's, it's in your nature. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Yamaha Marine, reliability starts here. And by Garmin, the power of simple.
You just want to fish, not mess around with buttons and settings and such. That's why they made every Garmin Echo fish finder easy to use. You see fish, you catch fish, easy. Fight fish, not your fish finder. Get the unsurpassed power, clarity, and dependability of a Garmin Echo fish finder.
Engineered to excel, the Ranger Z500 and Z100 series are built for the ultimate ownership experience. It's a commitment to excellence packed with real-world advantages and exclusive features. Experience the accelerated performance standards of the legendary Ranger Z series. From first light to last cast, they're put together to set you apart. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
Yamaha VMAX SHO, the game changer. The pros knew right out of the first hole shot that the VMAX SHO was the real deal. VMAX SHO exceeds two-stroke performance, delivers four-stroke efficiency, and is packed with legendary Yamaha reliability. It's the faster, stronger, smarter, lighter family of VMAX SHO outboards from Yamaha.
For camping, fishing, hunting, or anything outdoors, bring along Arctic Ice. Simply freeze these versatile cooler packs and they're ready to keep your food and drinks cold throughout your outing. Arctic Ice can maintain in a cooler 60% longer than the equal weight of regular ice, and with no more mess or soggy food. Arctic Ice is clean and easy. Alaskan Series can maintain a sub 40-degree cooler for days, and the Tundra Series can keep game frozen till it gets home. Preserve an Arctic refuge in your cooler. Choose Arctic Ice.
Welcome back to the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook with Wade Middleton. Wade's made his way up to Sturgeon Bay, Door County in Wisconsin for a fun smallmouth fishing adventure.
You know, so through all of our travels, you know, we've got a chance to network with a lot of people. And one name that kept coming up in that area was Mark Zona. Well-known ranger, hydroway professional, competes on the Cabela's National Wildlife Tour, also competes in a lot of bass fishing events, a guy that likes to fish that area and is equally as excited about fishing as I am. So I knew in talking to him, we were gonna have a good trip. He was coming from a walleye tournament, but excited to head out smallmouth fishing. It's about as exciting as I've been bass fishing in a long time. Big smallmouth, they're coming and we're fixing to get out there and bust on them. It's like being a kid in a candy store waiting for Christmas. Will you sight fish right out in this stuff here if given the opportunity?
Yeah, you would. If given the opportunity to, you can pull right off. Right. I mean, basically you got this first break and we're just inside of it, but when you can get on that first break line, they'll be just stacked along there. And we'll see a couple of those areas later this afternoon where, you know, you got these big giant, I mean, the size of this boat type boulders where these fish are hanging. And they'll set up right on the edges of them.
Get him?
Got him.
That guy over there got one too. That's a good one.
Another one following him too.
Is there?
3 of them, 4 of them following. Look at them all.
Oh yeah, you sure can. You can see them all out through there.
This particular system, you've got the convergence of Lake Michigan and Green Bay. And where we sit right here in Sturgeon Bay is actually the channel that runs in between. You know, Green Bay in itself is just a really neat body of water, one of the premier smallmouth fisheries in the country, or the walleye fishing, or the perch fishing, even salmon and muskie, you know. So it has something for everybody. It's not just a world-class smallmouth fishery, it's got all the above. So, and then you go right out the channel and you're in Lake Michigan and you've got 25 and 30 pound salmon, brown trout. I mean, it's just endless up here. This is truly a sportsman's paradise up in Door County.
Yeah, I'd think 6 foot here, you can go right over them.
Yeah.
Even probably a little shallower.
And we're in 14 foot of water.
As big as we.
We're at 14 foot.
I need to let mine sink a little more. A little less judgment on my behalf.
You know, no matter what type of fish you're talking about, you know, when you're talking about pre-spawn or spawning fish, you know, what they're really doing is just setting up on transition areas, whether it be rock to sand or, you know, that chunk rock to gravel, areas like that.
You can see it out here. I mean, you can really see
Absolutely.
How the definition, where the drop, where the sand's changing to the rock and the high spots. There's one. I saw him come up and eat it. Nice.
That's a good one.
Very nice. Nice.
There we go. That's what people come to Door County for.
Wow, that's pretty. Look at that. I mean, he is as tall as he is long.
These fish are just totally built different than any other fish.
Look at that.
They're just so stocky. I mean, look at his tail. I can't even get my fingers around him barely.
Wow. And that's just an average one.
That's just an average one.
Nice. All right, let's catch some more.
Looky, looky.
Is it really?
Train's coming.
What are the odds you travel 20 some odd hours and you go to the Great Lakes, which have, you know, more water than you can probably multiply, and you get to where you're going and there's some guy named Zona fishing the exact same bay that you're wanting to go fish. I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to be called the poacher on this one because I came the furthest and he is from up here, but you know, that's funny how the world works because there he is over there shooting. What are the odds?
This lake literally is like 3,000 miles long, and the one shoreline that I want to fish is sitting on. Lake Michigan is this big, okay? If you look at a map right now, most lakes on a map are this big. Lake Michigan is this big, and there's about 1,000 boat ramps on it. And I had heard, all I heard was Wade was coming up north. So, you know, I said, hey man, good luck, throw a drop shot or a tube or a little grub. There's so many boat ramps here. We launched our boat early and I was kind of snooping around. We were taping a Zona show. And I see a Ranger boat and there's some dude waving, and I looked at the kid I was fishing with, Chad Grigsby. I looked at him and I said, dude, I'm dead serious. I think that was Wade Middleton. What are the chances? What are the chances of the thousands and thousands of miles of Great Lakes that we put in at the same exact boat ramp? Dude, your hair is always just fantastic.
Awesome, dude.
Wait, best hair in the outdoors.
Now, Velvet's got me beat. His is sexier.
You're all right on there.
When we come back, Wade ventures out on Sturgeon Bay on his own for a while. The Fisherman's Handbook crew trusts Ranger boats to get them to and from their favorite spots on the water. Let's put your Ranger knowledge to the test. In December 2012, Ranger Boats began producing what brand new line of boats in Flippin, Arkansas? For the answer to this, or to find out more about Ranger Boats, visit mydreamrig.com.
From bass and walleye to crappie in the great outdoors, you deserve more than old school aluminum. Reward yourself with the quality, performance, and extra room in a Ranger aluminum design. Packed with features, these rigs carry an ultra-smooth dry ride and stable platforms. Experience a Ranger aluminum boat today. It's engineered to excel and priced to be yours. Yamaha Outboards. Reliability starts here.
The world has never seen a hook like this.
What I thought was good before
is not so good now.
The first surgically sharpened fish hook.
This is the best ever.
In test after test, we have proven that anyone can set this new hook with half the effort of any other hook.
That's money.
Introducing the Trocar hook, a weapon for fishermen who aren't just out to catch fish, but are out to win.
At Amphibia, we've resolved to build a product that nobody else offers, using methods that nobody else is using, optimized for life on water and land. The choice of top bass fishing pros. Amphibia frames are designed to fit comfortably no matter how your face is shaped, to stay firmly in place through your most physical activities, and to float in water. Amphibia sunglasses are truly designed for life on the water.
Welcome back to the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook with Wade Middleton. Brought to you in part by Amphibia Performance Floating Eye Gear. Sunline America, the strength to guarantee your confidence. Arctic Ice, preserve an Arctic refuge in your cooler. And by Food Saver, the #1 vacuum sealing system. Wade's ventured up to the heart of Green Bay, Wisconsin, and is having a great trip with his friend Mark Kortz as they've explored Sturgeon Bay, Door County.
There were times up there where, you know, Mark had to go do some other things where we just jumped in the boat and took off exploring and just started running out across the Great Lakes there. And, you know, I can do that with confidence because of my electronic setup. I mean, it's set up in a manner that I can read the electronics, I can tell what's going on, I can get from point A to point B, I know where the depth lines are, you can read all that stuff. And for a guy traveling to an unknown destination, that's a must. You know, you really need to have the best electronics set up on your boat to be able to follow and know where you're going, to get there safely and to get back safely. So as we ventured out, basically out onto the Great Lakes, you know, I had supreme confidence we could get where we're going and get back and probably find some fish in doing so. Oh wow, this water is just absolutely gorgeous. We're just gonna drag a drop shot around these little drop-offs and bald spots that we can see out here. It's obviously a lot of fish probably moving up to spawn. And you can see old beds all out through here. I'm sure there's gonna be some fish on some of these beds in here too. That's what a lot of the guys were saying at the lodge and around, that, you know, a lot of the fish, this body of water is so big, they spawn for like 60, 80, 90 days, and you just got to go find the ones that are ready to spawn and catch them. Like that. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That is so fun. I'm telling you. Look at that guy. Nice. That's what we left Texas to come up and catch, and even bigger as time goes on. We can get a hold of him. This guy here's so big, I can't even get a hold of him, he's so big. Look at that. Look how fat these fish are, how thick they are. I mean, that thing's as big as my hand. That's insane. You know, I've heard all these stories about coming up here and fishing this type of place, and I've dreamed about coming up here, and I'm taking a week to get up here. I'm gonna spend a lot of time with a bunch of good friends. I got insight on them, what to expect this week, and who knows what we're gonna encounter once we get out here on the water. But I can tell you, if that's any indication of what we're gonna see, it's gonna be a fantastic trip. When we first got there, it was cold, really cold for me. You know, I kind of remember Mark laughing at me and Justin, the camera guy. You know, we're putting gloves on, putting toboggans on. I mean, it was cold up there. It's June in San Antonio where I left to go up there. And it was, you know, the water temperatures were, you know, were still fairly chilly by my opinion. You know, I definitely wasn't gonna go jump in the water. And the air temperature was cold when we were out there running around. But what we were noticing each day and watching in the Garmin is the temperature would climb. And each hour it would get warmer and warmer, and these fish would just come swimming by you into those little canals to set up. And the afternoon bites were just phenomenal on anything you wanted to throw out there at these fish. And you know, knowing that and being able to monitor that on your electronics is very key, to know that early in the morning they're probably out here, the water temperature's dictating they may have backed off, and then come in the afternoon as that warming trend happens, they're just like bass anywhere else. They're gonna go where that water's warmer to spawn. This little setup right here that Cabela's has, it's basically a weight on the end of a little jig head right here, and I'm fishing it through one of their soft plastics. It actually has an O-ring, and I'm gonna bust this open to show you what we got here. You know, a lot of times when you fish a soft plastic stick bait, what happens is you tear your bait in half. But with this O-ring in here, it's already built into the inside of it. I mean, I can't even tear it up ripping it in there. You take and rig your bait through that O-ring, and you're basically gonna be able to fish the whole time. And you can get a better look at it on the other side, keeping in mind that I've already tore that up. I can catch 15, 20 fish rigged like that with that O-ring in there, versus a lot of the other soft plastic stick baits where they're just gonna rip right through, and you're not gonna be able to reuse that bait, and you're gonna have to constantly be throwing them off while you're casting and need more of them. With this type of setup here, you can catch those fish over and over on the same bait.
When the Fisherman's Handbook returns, Wade hooks back up with Mark Kortz, and these Wisconsin smallmouths don't stand a chance. Kobe
kayaks provide the ultimate lightweight fishing platforms that will offer anyone what they want when it comes time to hit the water. Hobie Kayak's commitment to innovation, quality, and owner satisfaction is unparalleled in the industry. So when it's time for you to go kayaking, remember there's only one name to remember, and that's Hobie Kayak.
It's for those who get up early on weekends, and those who'd rather rough it than take it easy. It's for those who know it's not just a sport, but a way of life. The new Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing system keeps food fresh up to 5 times longer with a rugged design and 12-volt adapter cord for easy use in the field, ensuring your game and fish is fresh when you need it. The Food Saver Game Saver vacuum sealing system. Fielded fresh, sealed fresh.
After your next successful fishing trip, savor the flavor with a Bradley Smoker. They have a whole list of creative recipes for catch with a wide variety of delicious smoky wood flavors. Find out more about making your meal as memorable as the fishing trip at bradleysmoker.com.
C.A. Richardson here for Power Pole, where every shallow water anchor is designed and tested to be extremely quiet. How quiet? Let's take a look. Hey guys. Great work, guys.
Don't slam the door!
Power Pole, deadly silent to help you catch more fish.
After your next successful fishing trip, savor the flavor with a Bradley Smoker. They have a whole list of creative recipes for catch with a wide variety of delicious smoky wood flavors. Find out more about making your meal as memorable as the fishing trip at bradleysmoker.com.
Welcome back to the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook with Wade Middleton. Wade Middleton has traveled up north to the beautiful scenery of Green Bay, Wisconsin. He's already caught some beautiful smallmouth bass with his buddy Mark Kortz, but he's slowly realizing he hasn't seen anything yet.
There he is.
There we go.
Wow!
Nice.
That's what you come up here for. Look at that pig. There, baby. Look at the size and the shoulders on that fish. Wow!
That is awesome.
That is awesome right there. That is too cool. That is too cool. When you can't hold on to them, they're good. Nice eyes there, Mark. I tell you what, when you get the chance to see fish like that out here in clear water, and you know, we're just catching swim baits, we're throwing hard baits, you're just doing whatever. You look over and there's one sitting in one of the sand pockets like that. Throw a little drop shot over there and you just...
That one dwarfs that other one.
That was too good. You know, the sheer power of a smallmouth is freaking amazing. You throw out there and they bite it, whether you're reeling that swim bait or you be, you know, pitching soft plastic bait around. I mean, the aggressiveness of the strike, and then the run, and then the tugging, and then the way they just take you to your knees at times. I mean, you're gonna get your equipment stretched, or your line stretched up there. You're gonna get your equipment tested and your rods bent anytime you catch one of these big smallmouth. Yeah, look at that one. Nice one. Come here, buddy. Open your mouth for me. We'll do that.
I'm sitting.
Whoa! Come back here.
I'm sitting here watching you catch yours, and all of a sudden I look back, and my line's going the other way.
We'll get some more of that. God, it's fun up here.
Wade's downsizing his tackle and line size, but not the quality of the products. Let's take a closer look at what Wade is using to fight the aggressive smallmouth here in Sturgeon Bay. Fisherman's Handbook presents End of the Line, the gear you need to get the big one tugging on the end of your line.
You know, if you get inside my Ranger and start digging around in there, you're gonna find a lot of big fishing rods, a lot of very heavy action rods. You're gonna find a lot of 40-pound sunlight braid, 80-pound sunlight braid. You're gonna find 25-pound, you know, mono on there. I mean, I fish big, heavy tackle on the majority of lakes that I fish. That's not to say I don't downsize when I need to. I've got a few of those little spinning rods stuck away in the shed, collecting dust for the most part. So I had to change a lot of my mentality going up there. I spent a lot of time on the Cabela's website, at the stores, looking at things, talking to my buddies, and getting geared up and picking out a lot of different baits. And you're never gonna be perfectly prepared for when you get up there. It's impossible, but I felt like leaving home, left my 20-pound mono, left my big braided line, left my flip assist behind, and downsized a lot of stuff, and I was gonna be ready to go.
The fundamental concept at Sunline America has always been to develop a thinner, stronger fishing line. While in Wisconsin, Wade is using a mix of Sunline products for his leaders and his main line to target the smallmouth, and it's paying off.
I've watched and drooled over all the shows that Wade has taped. I would say he has taped an overabundance of shows on Amistad and Falcon, where you're able to put braid and 20-pound fluorocarbon minimum, and go old school, what I call dirty south on them. They're a little bit harder to trick here just because you can look at fish here 30 to 40 feet of water, and they're a little more in tune. You get past about 10 or 12-pound line, you're just not gonna get the abundance of bites. You'll still get bites. I don't want that to sound the wrong way, but you're not gonna get the bites that, that you're gonna get on 6 to 8-pound line. 6 to 8-pound line, you're gonna get cracked virtually from 80% of the fish that you're around.
Yeah, these things are just tanks. I mean, when they hit it, it's just whack. Look at that. I mean, they just slack in everything you're doing. That's so cool.
And you can call the shots. Oh, that's the neat thing about it. I'm like,
there's a rock.
Next week on the Cabela's Fisherman's Handbook, Wade's Wisconsin smallmouth adventure isn't over yet. Now that he's figuring them out, they're about to put the hurt on some of the best smallmouth of Wade's life. Thanks for watching. Join us next week for more fishing tips and trips with the pros.
How would you like to win some of the baits you're seeing us use on today's show? Or even better, how about winning a fishing trip with me? It's very simple. Go to the Fisherman's Handbook Facebook page, like the page, and follow along, and you'll be able to be eligible to win certain prizes and possibly go fishing with me.
You want to have a good boat. I mean, it's a key to being able to do this stuff. And wearing your safety vest is always, you know, a good thing when you're out here, because you never know what's going to happen. You know, you got enough of these cruisers and things like that.
I think you got it on backwards. Something's not right, dude. It thinks to me better now. We'll do that again.